Well, today, the Georgia 19 became the Georgia 2 and the Georgia 17, at least for now. It was a good day for Georgia's Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis and her team of lawyers who won round one of what will be the fully televised trials of the Georgia 19. Two of Donald Trump's co-defendants in Georgia were in court today through their lawyers asserting their right to a speedy trial, which is now scheduled for October 23rd. And they were asking the judge to sever their speedy trials from each other so that they could be tried separately and speedily. Judge Scott McAfee, ruling from the bench in real time on live television, denied the defense request to sever their trials and ordered the two defendants, both lawyers, Sidney Powell and Kenneth Chesebro, to go to trial together. If any other defendants demand a speedy trial, they will probably be added as defendants in the speedy trial of Defendant Powell and Defendant Chesebro, depending on exactly when they ask for a speedy trial. The prosecution revealed today that they will call, quote, in excess of 150 witnesses in a trial they estimate will last 120 days, not including jury selection. One of the reasons the prosecution convinced the judge not to sever individual defendants for individual trials today is that, according to the prosecution, quote, all of the evidence is admissible against all of the defendants. The prosecution is still insisting that all 19 defendants should be tried together in one trial under the speedy trial schedule, even though most defendants in the case clearly do not want a speedy trial.
It just seems a bit unrealistic to think that we can handle all 19 in 40-something days. That's my initial reaction.
If you have never seen a 34-year-old judge before, welcome to the club. No one has ever seen a 34-year-old judge with less than a year's experience on the bench handling such an important case. Judge McAfee was appointed by Georgia's Republican Governor Brian Kemp. He is now the judge under the most pressure of any of the four judges hearing criminal cases against Donald Trump, because Judge McAfee has to handle 19 defendants in his Trump case, and he has to deal with the intense pressure of Georgia's speedy trial law in a case that will include a massive amount of pretrial discovery evidence and that must be presented by the prosecutors to the defense, and a prosecution that expects to call 150 witnesses. The judge has to envision a trial with more than 150 prosecution witnesses who will be cross-examined by each of the defense attorneys in the courtroom, which could mean 19 consecutive cross-examinations of the same witness if all of the defendants are tried together. Judge McAfee could not have been more impressive in his first televised session of presiding over the case of the state of Georgia versus Donald J. Trump and his 18 co-defendants. Judge McAfee quickly focused on the issues before him today and made his ruling the old-fashioned way, right there on the bench the moment the lawyers finished speaking, ordering the two defendants who want a speedy trial to go to trial together, very much against their will. The judge did not end the hearing and then go into a conference with law clerks for a day or several days to help him write his ruling. He simply announced it on the bench. And with the high-speed pressure the case is now under for at least two defendants, we can expect to see more of that.
We're on an expedited timeline with these statutory speedy trial demands, and we are certainly here ready and willing to provide both defendants that right, and we plan to make that October 23rd trial date stick. With that in mind, I don't know if we're always going to be able to have the luxury of pre-hearing briefing and post-hearing briefing, and some of these issues may require a little more exploration than others.